Hey Patriots, Principal Bonham. Welcome to the start of the 2021 academic school year. Who would have thought we'd be here in this situation a year ago? With the shutdown of school in March because of COVID, the pandemic, and now the start of school year for most of us being in a virtual environment. But that's okay, because the thing is, where you start is not where you finish. So while we all want to be here in this building together, at some point we will be, but we got to get through this virtual world and make it the best we possibly can. With that is the understanding is none of this is perfect. Our teachers have been working super hard over the course of the summer and these last 3 weeks to make the best virtual environment they possibly can for you. But we also know there has to be some patience with that. Just like there'll be bumps along the road and things, obstacles we have to overcome, and you'll face the same thing. We're going to be learning together with this. So that part of understanding each other as we go through is going to be a critical part in our start. So I sent a document out to you recently, which is a student family guide to the virtual school. There's a lot of information there about attendance, about grades, about technology, all kinds of things that I would like you to make sure you're referring to. Our teachers will refer to that as well. But it's a good guide to know all the protocols in terms of starting here as a school. The part about starting school really starts with a number of areas we want to focus on. Number one is you, the individual, like how you're doing physically, emotionally, socially. Second, what it's like to make sure we're building community. You know, our school is built on the premise of being a large school with over 1,900 students and a large school community. We're trying to figure out how do we replicate that in a virtual setting in your classes. So you being engaged and you being a part of that work is critical, and our teachers develop relationships with you. The third part is digital competencies, making sure that you understand how to get around Schoology, how to get around Google Docs, how to get around, the Zoom technical protocols as well. Those are going to be very important things that we have to train you purposefully, and we'll be able to support you and your families with that. And the fourth part is obviously content. We want to make sure that you are engaged with the work, right? You took a class for the idea of understanding more about it, understanding the work, understand what we're doing, and hopefully being engaged and getting the rigor that's necessary to continue the learning with that process. So as I mentioned before, being engaged is critical. We want you to be present. We want you to be a part of all your classes Monday through Thursday. I promise you, it will not be 90 minutes sitting in front of a computer. Our teachers are working really hard to make sure they're breaking up that time period to have some stuff that will be with them together and some things you'll be doing independently. But it doesn't help if you're not present. So please try to be as active and present as you can within the lessons Monday through Thursday. And of course Friday you have options for some office hours to get some extra assistance. Schoology is the main platform that we'll all be using. So if you're not connected to Schoology yet, I sent that email out, but if you're having trouble getting in, call the office, call the school, we'll make sure you get in. But that's where you should be checking on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you are good as far as getting the work that you need and understand what's coming up in the future. We will be replicating some of the stuff we always do at school as far as things outside of academics. That's the clubs, that's the activities. That may not happen the first week, but I promise you we'll be getting those going in a virtual environment for you to be involved in things outside of just your classes, things that you really enjoy as part of being here at Albemarle High School. And lastly, I just want to mention is we've had a lot of things go on since last March when we last met. Obviously COVID, the pandemic, all the racial issues that are going on in our country, those aren't things that we can ignore. Those are things we have to make sure that we're supporting in terms of our students, where they are, and how do we move forward. Some of those conversations can be uncomfortable, but they're necessary. We have to get to the point where our student voices are being heard, and I'm really proud of the fact that over the summer we've had some groups, one in particular called Key to Unity started, and they've really tried to create an opportunity for student voice to be heard. Albemarle is one of the benefits that we have. It's such a rich, diverse student body that has so many different cultures, backgrounds, experiences, things that we need to embody, embrace, and be able to support. And when students don't feel that way at the school, we own that. And we own the fact that we have to rally around making sure that this school is doing everything it can to be anti-racist. Racism has no place in our school, in our community, in Albemarle County. We have to make sure that we're doing everything possible to ensure that is part of what our creed is as a faculty and staff and what it is of you as the student body. So we will continue to do some of that work. It's important work and it's necessary for us to make positive steps in the future. So I'm glad you're here. I'll be continuing to talk to you more throughout the course of the year. Welcome to A-Town 2021. Excited to see you, maybe virtually for now. One day we'll be back together though. All right? Stay strong, Patriots.